teaching you to love Monday. Mustang Monday. Fast cars, fun chats, and badass business and personal tips from the streets. Driving home a positive message with interviews conducted in Kelly's 2006 Mustang.
Well, hello. It is Mustang Monday. I'm Kelly Orchard. And I just wanted you to know that for the month of March is the beginning of spring, and we're going to be covering the letter D in Badass, which stands for Decide to Grow and Succeed. An important component of being licensed to be badass is to decide. In fact, it's probably the one that's the most scariest. We're going to be talking about this all month long, about leadership and positive productivity. So listen, I've got a couple of great Mustang Mondays for you right now. You ready to go?
Turn up your energy with Mustang Monday. Here once again in the driver's seat is Kelly Orchard.
So hey everybody, Kelly Orchard here with Mustang Monday with Ashley Collins from Southwest Healthcare System. Yeah. I just want to call it Rancho Community Springs Hospital, but there's more than one hospital.
There are. It's Rancho Springs and Inland Valley.
Yes. So I'm really happy to have Ashley with me today. So Ashley and I have known each other now for how many years?
Over four.
Yeah, at least 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
Okay, so we met. This is how we met. I usually am a regular speaker at the Survivor Thriver retreats for Michelle's Place.
Oh yeah, this will be year 5 because that was in 2015.
Okay. And I've spoken with Michelle's Place. I think I've only missed 1 year since I've lived here. So 6 or 7 times I have been privileged to present at their retreat.
Yes.
And so this 1 year I was there, and it was the first time that I had come up with the idea. Actually was encouraged. When you're about to be a speaker, you know, the person who's introducing you may not know you, so hand them a script so that they can introduce you without making a mistake. And so I handed Ashley the script. We had just met that day. I handed her the script, and she says,
"Thank you for that."
Yes, because that was your first.
It was my first introduction. I had started with Michelle's Place that year. Mm-hmm. This event was like May, June-ish.
Yes, usually June-ish.
And I had just started in April.
Right.
So I was a little new. And this is my first time.
The first event.
Introducing somebody who's going to be speaking to our ladies. And it was also the first time that I was in an event with our ladies dealing with cancer.
Yeah.
And so it was a little nerve-wracking for me. And it was a beautiful location.
Oh, beautiful location.
We had never gone back to that place since. I don't think it's quite the same, but it was like that stone place, and they had like the waterfalls.
It was gorgeous.
Gorgeous place.
Yes. No, it was a great event, and that's how we met. It was kind of a bonding moment for the both of us, because I handed her a script. It was the first time I'd ever done that, so that someone wouldn't basically butcher who I am when they announced me. And you were so very grateful, and so it was
so grateful for that.
It was an awesome way to meet. Awesome, and we've been friends ever since. And so, but your career has evolved since then. So
yes, that's because I'm a badass.
That's right. That's exactly it, which is why she's in the car. It's because you are a badass. Thank you. I love that confidence and the boldness.
Nice. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I mean, like I said, that was 5 years ago. I was fresh. I was a year out of college from my bachelor's degree. Mm-hmm. I had worked for a marketing agency prior to going to Michelle's Place, and it was a horrible place to work. So
not Michelle's Place.
Right,
yeah. Michelle's Place is great. Yeah.
And it made it real that, you know, your first job out of college is horrible, and it was horrible. And then I found Michelle's Place, and life just got so much better. Mm-hmm. And yeah, it really boosted my career, my whole persona in the community.
Yeah, your visibility.
My visibility,
right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because immediately when I started working there, Kim Garrish.
Gotta get her in the car too. Thank you for mentioning her.
Because she's a badass.
Have to get Kim.
Yeah, you gotta get Kim.
Yeah.
She pointed me in the directions of networking groups to join. So like the Chamber with Valley Young Professionals, Rotary. I had joined New Gen Rotary. So just going in those directions and starting to just get acclimated in the business community.
Yeah.
And that's
the ticket. And it's like you have to remember this over and over and over again. The ticket is, it doesn't matter how educated you are, even though you do have an education, it is a lot of who you know.
It's all about who you know.
It is, yeah.
That's how I have the job I have now.
Yeah.
You know, Brian Connors heard that or the job opening.
He heard that you were a badass.
He heard that I was a badass, and he's like, I need her. and I mean, that's how I got the job that I have. So it's like really moving up in your career. It really is about who you know, and you know, I mean, if you're just sitting on the sidelines and not getting to know people in this community, it's going to be kind of hard to
well,
go
like
places.
we were talking about a conversation about, who you associate with too.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
And when you associate with people who aren't in professional field,
right.
you're not going to get those kinds of connections to boost your professional career.
Yeah.
So it is always about, say we are the sum of the 5 people we spend the most time with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So if you're spending time with people who are negative and are not driven and not passionate about their work, then guess what? You're not going to get anywhere. And I think what you've done is you've not only, but you've also been following your passion to educate yourself as well. Yes. It is about who you know, but in your case, it is also about what you've learned and what you're willing to accomplish. You don't get a job doing marketing for a hospital system because of who you know.
Right, that's
exactly
very true. That's very true.
Yeah.
Working at I was the communications director at Michelle's place, and I really had wet feet, and I was kind of just jumping in there. Like I said, I've had a very fake it till you make it mentality, and it's really gotten me somewhere.
It does work. It actually does.
It really does work. But the mentors that I've had, I mean, even Kim, working for Kim was amazing. She really is a badass. I mean, she worked her way up from being the marketing person at Michelle's place to running it. Mm-hmm. And look at how well she's done at running it. And I mean, it's just growing immensely, and it's a beautiful thing to see. And that's, I really saw that, and I wanted that. Like, I want to be like that. I want to be able to grow like that as a person. And, she's such a gracious leader, and I love that. And I want to be like that too. So it's like, I really wanted to become a great leader.
Be like Kim.
Yeah, be like Kim.
That's going to be our new phrase for the year.
New phrase.
If you want to be badass, be like Kim.
Be like Kim. Exactly. But I mean, it's a beautiful thing to see, and as a woman in the business community, like, that's how you want to lead, and that's the type of leadership that I would love to have. So educating myself in my field, I got my master's in public relations. I'm working on my MBA now. I really feel like you can never get enough education. Yeah. I could be a student forever.
I could too. I could be a career student too.
I could be.
I really could.
I really love it. I don't love the debt that I acquire.
Yeah.
But
that's the only reason why I'm not.
Right.
Yeah.
But when you have a job that does tuition assistance, I mean, why not get another degree?
Yeah.
So. Yeah. And a lot of people tell me, you got kids. Like, how do you have time for that? Well,
you make time.
You make time because it's really an investment in myself, and if I'm not investing in myself, who else is going to invest in
Well, you're also living by example too. It's like a lot of times it's like a few weeks ago I did one on parenting tips for teenagers. It's like I worked on my master's degree program when my kids were teenagers. Yeah. And so yes, I'm not really thrilled about the debt that I incurred, but on the other hand, they saw me committed to going to class. Right. They saw me working on my schoolwork and writing my papers. So important. They saw me passing grades. And so therefore, when I would tell them to sit there and do their homework, for them I was leading by example. Exactly. Now, I'm not saying that every parent, when you have teenagers, you need to go get a master's degree. But we do need to lead by example as well with our children. And,
absolutely.
And so that's what you're showing your kids right now, because one of them is 11.
He's 11.
And then you have another one who is...
I have a 2-year-old. He'll be 3 pretty soon.
Almost 3-nager.
My 3-nager.
We had lunch and we were talking about the 3-nager thing, and I'm like, I can remember that, and my grandson's that age.
I mean, when he Supermans it onto the floor, and it's just like, I want to laugh,
but you don't want to.
I don't want to encourage it.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's like, I'm that parent that laughs at her kids, and it's probably not very.
Oh no, I did too. It's like, and my kids do too. It's like now it's kind of the point where we have to cover our faces because it's too funny. And I got a whole story that I can share about hanging up my button wall with my granddaughter.
I know. Yeah. Then they're not taking me seriously because I can't help but laugh.
Oh, I know. It's torturous.
I know. Parenting is so much fun.
Yes.
Very challenging. But my 11-year-old, he's in 5th grade, and for him, it's the time when it's more responsibility at school. You have a lot more workload, and so for him to see that even in my state as a person who's in a career, I'm still educating myself, and I want him to know the value of education because he's so smart. Yeah. And, it would be really sad to see this super smart kid, not do anything with it. So I'm teaching him how to apply what he's learning in the real world, and I want him to experience things, and it's fun to see him grow. Yeah. So that's for sure.
So mine and Ashley's badass tip for you today is It is about who you know
It is.
to pursue the bigger aspect of your career, but it also is important for you to continue to educate yourself. And then, it's like something that you brought in here, which really wasn't even part of the actual tip, was the mentoring from people that you respect.
Yes, absolutely.
I've done one on mentoring before, but you just kind of brought her into the conversation as an example of someone you'd like to be like.
Well, yeah,
and that's important. You need to find people like that.
I think that's important, and it's like you kind of have that in your mind. If you find something that you really see that you aspire to be, go with that and keep that in your mind as you're going along your journey.
Yes, and it eventually will happen.
And it eventually will happen.
Yeah, it might take a little time.
It might take a little time. I'm still a very immature person, and I love to be jokey and immature.
Yes. we can call her youthful, not immature. I like to be said I'm youthful.
I like to live my life in color, that's for sure. Yeah. But because sometimes you can't take yourself too seriously.
I never take myself seriously.
But yeah,
I take my work seriously. I do seriously, but I don't take me seriously.
Absolutely.
And that's something you have to learn as well.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
So Ashley Collins from Southwest Healthcare System. Kelly Orchard, your badass certifier. And thank you. This is Mustang Monday, and you have to say this with me. Do my tagline. We are reminding you to be bold, be brave, be confident, be badass.
As you enjoy these interviews, know that you can watch the videos of Mustang Monday on Kelly's YouTube channel too. This is badass territory. No sniveling. Be bold. Be brave, be confident, be badass.
All right, hey everybody, I'm Kelly Orchard with Mustang Monday. I am the Badass Certifier here with Dion Moser. She was mentioned, she was given a shout out in a recent Mustang Monday video. So it's like, usually when that happens, I have to reach out to that person and say, okay, it's your turn. It's like kind of like hot potato. You're it.
Thanks, Mike.
Now I have to go back and do him again. But what I've been doing is I've just been getting people to hop in the seat, and this is my rhyme, and give a badass tip from the street. Because, badass is an acronym, and it's a mindset for confidence and positivity. And I speak on this, and I teach workshops, and I coach on it. So this is just a little fun addition to do, just to have Mustang Monday. And I tell the story about how even this concept evolved. But this is my baby, my car. I love her, and I do call her a her.
What's her name?
She doesn't have a name.
Oh, you gotta have a name.
Okay, what should I name it?
I don't know. You know what my truck's name is?
What?
Happy.
Happy. Your happy truck.
Yeah, because he makes me happy.
Okay, maybe I should just call this Badass.
Yeah. See?
Badass Mustang.
Yeah. See?
Yeah,
Just
that works for me. All right, so we just named the car. So Dion is the owner of Co-working Connection and Impact Marketing. And you've been in business for quite a while. You just had an anniversary not too long ago.
20 years with Impact, yes.
20 years with Impact. And tell our viewers what Impact does.
Impact Marketing Design, we do promotional products, uniform programs, and just help people with their marketing to help them grow their business.
Good. And then co-working is, I've utilized your services here, your facility before, a few times. But co-working is a shared office space.
Shared office space. Correct.
Yeah. Okay. So your tip today, we had a little discussion about it. What do you want to talk about today?
Well, the thing that always pops up in my mind and things like this is like, when people always go, tell us how your success and stuff like that. It's like, it's not my success. It is, but it's my village of people that helped me get to where I am today. And I can't think about anything or anywhere that I'm at without thinking about all the people throughout the years that have gotten me to where I am.
Like as an example, this seems to be an ongoing theme, which is a good one, and I love that. Not that everybody's been talking about a village, but it's like leading up to getting to you, where you're like the whole village. Others are like one person here, get a mentor there, have a teacher here, be a leader there, and then you're like, it's a whole village of people.
It's a whole village throughout the years, and it's different people that come in and out from the day I started to today. It's just it's not any one person, but several people.
So how would you give somebody encouragement to put that village together? Where did you start in the very beginning?
That's a good question. I don't know that I thought about the village or thought about who came into my life to help me until I saw the success, and I didn't know where I was or what I was doing. It just kind of happened, and now in retrospect I see that, It started with my parents. I mean, like, I was working a dead-end job, and they wouldn't give me a raise, and I was pregnant, and I really loved what I was doing, and they're like, buy the company. I'm like, I can't buy the company. Like, I have no money. We're literally living out of boxes for 2 years in a little crap apartment. And I just found out I was pregnant with Brett, and my parents were telling me to buy this company, and I found out how much it was, and it was like $70,000. You could have said $5,000. I didn't have it.
Yeah, would have been either way, yeah.
And oddly, my parents, they only had $60,000 in savings. They took out a loan for 10 and sent me $70,000.
Wow.
And
so your parents got you started.
my parents, they believed in you. It blew my mind because, like, I just, I mean, it just happened. It was cool.
Yeah.
It was super cool.
And so what was that, the marketing business?
Yeah.
So then you bought it, and then that evolved into what probably maybe you needed some office space, and you're like, well, I don't need all this office space. Was that how that evolved, or am I making stuff up as I go?
No, yeah.
Okay.
Well, so I started in Grand Rapids, Michigan. And so when Brett started getting older, I wanted to be closer to my parents. So I decided I wanted to move back out here. And I asked the girls at the office, I'm like, I want to go home. Can you guys run the office here? I'll work from home in California. So, like, okay, well, in California, I mean, in Michigan, I had 2,500 square feet of space for $600 a month.
Yeah. Yeah.
What does that tell you?
Yeah.
So I came out here and I started working from home. And I'm a type of person, I need to be around people. I need to talk to people.
Yeah.
And just not just for talking's sake, but because you learn from people, you engage with people. They tell you things you don't see, you know, and
they give you other feedback and perspectives, and you can bounce ideas off.
Right.
Yes.
And so I started coming up in 2004 when I moved out here with this idea of a shared office space, because I got an executive suite, and I mean, you're still in a room with the door closed, and you might as well be home at that point. And like, there's got to be something better. There's got to be a way to collaborate with people and have an open space. And then that time Starbucks was getting, big, but it wasn't professional. And so I'm like, I started coming up with this idea, and all my friends were like, you've got to open it. You got to open it. And I was really close in 2007, and we know what happened in 2007, 2008.
Yeah.
So I had to jump back into my marketing
business. For those
business.
of you who don't know, there was a major crash, and everything just died.
So yeah, I started to do that. I couldn't do it, so I had to back out. And in 2010, when things started picking back up, all my friends were like, "You've got to do it, do it, open it." And Steve Amonte, I threw out a name.
There you go. Okay. Steve Amonte, you're next.
He was the one that, like, I was having lunch with him, and I told him about this place that I'm at, and he's like, "This is perfect. You need to do whatever it takes to get it done." And he really pushed me, and I did.
Yeah.
And then I had a lot of people in my Rotary group, Adam Ruiz, Jason Diermont, a whole bunch of people, just kicked in and said, how can we help? And they were here helping me put furniture together and painting walls or doing whatever we needed to do.
Well, and it's you telling this story about creating the two businesses that you've created. You're telling the story about this village that you like you said, it just sort of happens. But you also mentioned that you were in Rotary, and what else were you at? Other involvements, BNI, chamber, stuff like that. So it's really critical to get involved.
Oh yeah,
that's I think the number one key. Not it's the skill sets, yes, definitely, but you also need to know people, and the way that you know people is to get out there and meet people and to help them.
Right, and when you start a business, like when I started Impact, I didn't know what I was doing. I was super young, and I always felt like I had to walk around like all, hey, look at whatever, and until I started meeting people and talking to people and whatever, I found out I wasn't alone. I was trying to be bigger than I was, and it's like, no, just you're learning. Let's learn. Let's help you. What do you need help with? Let me help. And I joined masterminds and things like that because people would connect me to that, and it, launched me there.
Right. That's how I found my way to where I'm at too. Just one person after another, and you go down this direction. And second, this Mustang Monday came about because someone's like, you need to just drive your Mustang every Monday. And then boom, here we are. It's like, oh, then I'm going to do videos. I mean, it wasn't that simple, but it was an evolution of conversations.
Well, I'm glad we're not doing the karaoke version.
We could. I could turn the song right now. We can start singing. Maybe we'll start doing badass karaoke.
What would we sing?
I don't know. I was just listening to some of my because what I do in my classes, I teach how to create your own badass soundtrack that proves to be an instant attitude adjustment. And so what we do is we work on, like memories from, your past, and we do some music sampling, and I tell stories, and then it helps stir up different songs. So for me, it's like I'm very much into like 70s classic rock right now, because that's kind of where I gravitate to. It's like some of my fondest memories are, in rock and roll days in the 70s and 80s, so I think we'd have to go back there.
All right.
What about you? What kind of music turns you on, like makes you happy?
All music. I like everything. Yeah. I really do. I mean, it depends on the day. I mean, I got into this dubstep step. Have you heard of dubstep? Mm-hmm. My kid's like, why are you listening to that? You're too old for that. Thanks, Brett. Yeah. But first thing when I think karaoke, when I'm when you in a bar,
singing, you have to sing.
And I have to sing something, it would be Hit Me With Your Best Shot.
Okay, all right. Pat Benatar. Let's go.
Why?
That's good, though. Well, okay, but that's a good song.
Or Love Shack, because I can be the backup singer, and I don't have to be the front singer.
You could probably even, with your hair, you could even, do her hair.
Well, no. I find the person that will sing the front thing, and I then I can say I sang karaoke.
There was a time where it's everyone has a doppelganger. I had someone tell me I looked just like Trisha Yearwood, and I didn't even know who Trisha Yearwood was at the time.
I'm trying to think who's
She's a country singer. Yeah.
Oh.
So
I have the same thing. Tina Yothers with Family Ties.
I have a story about cruising around in a red car with Tina Yothers.
Oh, really?
Yes, I do.
Oh, wow.
I'll have to share it with you one time. It's all right, everybody. I'm here with Dion Moser. That was a great conversation.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That was awesome.
And
you're pretty badass.
Pretty badass, huh?
You are.
Thank you. So are you. Right on. That's why we're here together.
Oh, well.
With matching hairdos. It's
I know.
It's
we
like
could totally be cruising right now.
We could totally be doing this right now. All right. So I have a little phrase in saying that we do. So this is Kelly Orchard and Dion Moser. I'm reminding you to, and I'll say it, be bold.
Be bold.
Be brave.
Be brave.
Be confident.
Be confident.
Be badass.
Be badass.
Badass Attitudes, licensed here, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. When the bus arrives at Badassville, you discover it's not a place, it's a state of being. Don't miss the bus.
Thanks for listening and getting one step closer to being licensed to be badass. Be sure to subscribe to continue on the bus to Badassville. Snag your Badass Habits ebook at licensedtobebadass.com. You can stay in the slow lane and get just enough tools for successful badassery, one podcast at a time. Or you can join the Badass Ambassador crew in the fast lane by checking your baggage with my Licensed to Be Badass integrated program with videos, worksheets, and group coaching for motivation, mindset, and a fresh approach to living a fruitfully badass life.